and an asteroid lit up the sky above the English Channel. Take a look at these pictures. People living on the south coast of England were treated, mind you, you had to be up at about 3 o'clock this morning to see it, to a spectacular Meteor display in the early hours. The Meteor, filmed here from a vantage point of Brighton, burned up with a bright flash. No one was hurt, and there are no reports of any damage. Quite a show, though, and a rare occasion. There aren't many of these where actually it was predicted exactly where it would appear and when. Now, it seems appropriate that at this point we should pause, take a look at the weather with Carol Kirkwood. US shoots down another unidentified object in its airspace, the fourth military operation of its kind this month. The Prime Minister says the government will do whatever it takes to keep the UK safe from the threat of spy balloons, but does not say if any have been reported in UK airspace. It comes as Defence Secretary Ben Wallace said the UK would be conducting a security review after the incursion of at least one suspected spy balloon into US airspace. Well, the Prime Minister has also said the UK is ready to act if any unidentified objects do appear above our skies.
Well, I want people to know that we'll do whatever it takes to keep the country safe. We have something called the Quick Reaction Alert Force, which involves Typhoon planes, which are kept on 24/7 readiness to police our airspace, which is incredibly important. I can't obviously comment in detail on national security matters, but we're in constant touch with our allies. And as I said, we'll do whatever it takes to keep the country safe.
Rishi Sunak was talking in Manchester this morning. Well, China has accused Washington of illegally sending balloons into its airspace. Our China correspondent is Stephen McDonnell.
Well, it really is as if we've been catapulted back into the most bizarre days of the Cold War, with high-altitude spying balloons, with unidentified flying objects, no less, being shot down by fighter jets, and with Washington and Beijing trading various accusations and criticisms. Now, the latest from here is that fishing vessels off the coast of Shandong province have been warned by local authorities that they should be careful because one of these flying objects is going to be shot down and they should prepare for falling debris. The Foreign Ministry in Beijing said if anything more becomes available on that front, they will let us know. But Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin did say today that the US shouldn't go around accusing other countries of illegally entering its airspace because since January last year, more than 10 US balloons had illegally flown into China's airspace. Now, as for these other objects, the Pentagon says it's deliberately not saying balloons. There's some other unknown form of propulsion. They're saying at the moment they don't know who put these objects in the sky above North America, but they're not at the moment accusing China of doing this. The Chinese government says it too does not know about these 3 extra unidentified objects which have now been shot down over North America. And you would just have to hope that when the debris comes down, that it will be studied and we'll be able to find out more about this because it is, frankly, absolutely strange.
Stephen McDonnell there in Beijing. Well, a news conference is underway at the moment at NATO headquarters in Belgium. The Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg is currently giving his briefing to reporters, and during the course of it, he was asked about the balloon story.
I think what we saw over the United States, I visited the United States last week, is part of a pattern where China, but also Russia, are increasing their intelligence and surveillance activities against NATO allies with many different platforms. We see it in cyber, we see it with satellites, more and more satellites, and we see it then with balloons. That highlights the importance of our vigilance, our increased presence, and also that we ramp up and step up how we share intelligence and how we monitor and protect our airspace. And actually, one of the issues we're going to address and decide on the ministerial meeting tomorrow is increased cooperation between allies in space, sharing more data, collecting more data also from commercial satellites, and then sharing that with the NATO command structure. So that's part of the overall picture, how we do more to monitor and have sufficient surveillance capabilities to protect all our airspace.
That's Jens Stoltenberg speaking at UN headquarters. The news conference is ongoing. We're watching it here and we'll bring you any new developments from it or any new information that the Secretary-General offers. Just to let you know about something else that's happening right now. White House, Kirby, it says Chinese accusations that the US has flown 10 balloons over Chinese airspace are not true. That was an interview conducted with MSNBC, which is a network favoured by Democrats in the United States. And that's the White House response to the reports we heard from Stephen a little earlier in Beijing, that the authorities there were hitting back by saying that actually it was a bit rich for the US to criticise China because there had been a series of incursions. It's suggesting 10 incursions, actually. And that's John Kirby speaking. He's has been the Pentagon press secretary and has moved on to take on bigger responsibilities at the White House. He is now the White House spokesman for President Joe Biden.